Good morning. I'm Steve Gustitis and this is Walkabout. In this video, we'll talk about the most important thing that a new hiker or backpacker needs to know about proper backpack fit. All that's coming up right after this. The most important thing that a new hiker or backpacker needs to know about proper backpack fit is what their torso length is. And we'll talk about three aspects of that particular issue. Number one, we're going to talk about what torso length is. Number two, we're going to talk about why it's important when properly fitting a backpack. And number three, we'll talk about how to measure your torso length. Your torso length is the measurement between your C7 vertebrae and the top of your iliac crest. Your iliac crest is essentially the top of your pelvis bone. So why is it important that you know what your torso length is when fitting yourself for a new pack? Well, when a backpack is properly fitted, the weight distribution of the weight in your pack is going to be about 80% on your hips and about 20% on your shoulders. When your backpack is too small, and I'm not talking about volume, I'm talking about the actual height and length of the backpack, and I'll bring my pack over here in just a second to show you what I mean. When that's too short, then you're going to have too much weight supported on your shoulders. And that's going to be a problem after a long day out on the trail carrying a heavy pack. Your shoulders are going to be miserable. On the other hand, if you have a pack that has that's too long, all right, in size, then you're going to have more weight on your hips, less weight on your shoulders, and you're going to have problems with stability at the top of your pack. So let's use my pack here as an illustration of what I'm talking about, using your torso length to get the proper fit for your backpack. When we're talking about the length of the backpack, we're talking about the distance between about this point on the pack and about this point on the pack. And this is where the length of your torso is important in getting the proper fit. Again, if the backpack is too short, you're going to have that problem with improper distribution of weight across your shoulders. If the backpack is too long, you're going to have a problem with stability at the top of the pack. So let's talk about how to measure your torso length. Of course, you'll need some kind of measuring device. I took this tape measure out of the junk drawer in my kitchen this morning. Actually, I prefer one of those roll-up tape measures that you use in sewing and that has a lot more flexibility in it. You can use a yardstick too if you want to, but any kind of accurate measuring device is important. And secondly, you need a friend or buddy or family member to help you measure. I've tried to measure my own torso length by myself. That was not very successful. I wasn't accurate. So that's why I think a buddy or a helper is going to be super important to make sure that you get the proper length. So first, stand up straight. Put your hands on either side of your hips. Press down a bit so you get to that iliac crest appropriately. Stick your thumbs in towards the inside of your back, so your helper will be able to get a good solid baseline to start the measuring process. Second, you'll have to find your C7 vertebrae. Remember, all you have to do is just put your head forward. That C7 will stick out. It'll be easy to find, but when you actually make the measurement, make sure your head is straight up, and then have your helper measure that C7, the length of the C7 vertebrae down to that iliac crest. Write that down so you'll have it for future reference. So that's all you need to know about measuring your torso length and how important that is to proper backpack fit. If you're at a brick and mortar store and you're working with a salesperson who doesn't know the importance of torso length, then I think you're speaking with the wrong salesperson. So find somebody who knows what they're doing. Thanks again for visiting, and I look forward to seeing you next time here at Walkabout.